Hey, Dungeon Divers. Sorry this episode took a minute to drop. It's graduation season, and between my kids leveling up IRL and me working a crazy amount of overtime to organize one of our largest American Itasha car shows here in the States, it's been crazy on our end. Yeah, we know that even Jin-Woo would be proud of this grind. Huge thanks to our Carmic.Con warriors. Your support kept this dungeon crawl funded and fueled. Before we dive into today's chaos, smash that like button. Let's hit 300 likes faster than Jin-Woo, stacking EXP. And of course, don't forget to subscribe, comment your favorite moment, and share this. All right, let's get into it. Time to see what happens when betrayal meets a seriously overpowered E-rank. Right, early morning, you know the vibe, foggy brain, cold floors, and trying not to wake the whole house while sneaking out. Sung Jin-Ah, all stealth mode, tiptoes to the front door. She's this close to freedom when, heading to school already? Cue the jump scare. She spins around and boom, her big bro, Sung Jin-Woo, is standing there like a perfectly caffeinated NPC. Wait, you're up already? Yeah, been up for a bit. Have a good day. Watch for traffic and monsters. Sure, but as she walks off, something feels off. Bigger shoulders? Wider frame? Is he buffer? No. Humans don't bulk up like balloon animals in a few days, right? Then, bonk. He lightly taps her head forward and stuffs an umbrella in her backpack. Rain? But it's not even cloudy. Just take it. But it's heavy. It folds. With a dramatic sigh, she kicks the door like a grumpy anime girl with a cute, puffy face and walks off. But that lingering feeling doesn't go away. Something's different about her brother. Inside, Jinwoo stands still, like a man staring at a blank RPG skill tree. It's time to assign stat points. He's been grinding the daily quest every day, collecting points, stashing them. Now he's got a hoard of them, and zero idea where to invest. Strength? Solid choice. No regrets there. Agility? Always nice to outspeed death. Stamina? Yes, please. Who doesn't want unlimited cardio? Perception? Surprisingly useful. Like spider sense, but more stat-based. Intelligence? Questionable. His IQ hadn't gone up. Memory? Same. Math? Still bad. Maybe it's for magic? Who knows? After an internal monologue worthy of a Reddit min-maxer, he picks strength 50, stamina 27, agility 35, intelligence 27, perception 29. Right as he locks it in, the phone barely had a chance to buzz before Jin-Woo snatched it up like he was winning a game show. This is Hunter Seong Jin-Woo, he answered, already bracing for nonsense. Right on cue, a familiar voice barked through the speaker. You finally picked up. Too bad it wasn't the association call-in. A weary chuckle slipped from Jin-Woo. Of course it was him. Jin-Woo, why is it so hard to get a hold of you these days? It was the owner of his old apartment building, the same guy who, even after all these years, stubbornly clung to calling him Student Jin-Woo. Old habits die hard, huh? Sorry about that, Jin-Woo apologized. I was in the hospital after an incident a few days ago. That so? I should have known. The old man sighed heavily, but then came the real reason for the call. Well, about your rent for this month. There it was. If things are tight, he offered kindly, I can push it back a month or two. But Jin-Woo shook his head even though no one could see it. No need. I'll send it over soon. Just don't push yourself too hard, you hear? Looking after your mom and little sister. Money's important, but so's your health. Thank you, I won't forget, Jin-Woo said softly, ending the call. Sliding open a drawer, Jin-Woo pulled out his bank book. His balance stared back at him, a measly 800,000 won, just over $700. Yikes. First things first, I need to make some money, he muttered. No longer was he the same guy who used to tremble fighting low-rank beasts. Should he just take the rank reassessment test and skyrocket his standing? Jinwoo shook his head immediately. Dumb move. No matter if he ranked up to D, C, even B, A sudden reawakening would spark attention, gossip, and worse, eyes. Too many eyes, and in this world, attention could kill faster than monsters. Until he was strong enough to survive, Jinwoo wanted nothing more than to stay invisible, which meant no rank reassessment, but still, he needed cash. He made a quick call. "Hello, this is Jin-Woo. I'm looking for a job." The reply he got was surprisingly decent. "You're an E rank? No problem. We just need a body to fill the head count. It's a C rank gate, so you probably won't even have to fight. We'll split the loot among ourselves. You get 2,000,000 won in cash. Sound good?" 2,000,000 won, about $1,765. Just to stand there? He could practically hear his empty bank account crying tears of joy. "I'll be there in 15 minutes, Jinwoo said. At the construction site where broken concrete and half-built towers stood like the skeletons of a forgotten giant, Jinwoo arrived right on time. A broad-shouldered man with a scruffy beard waved him over. "Jinwoo, Jinwoo." "That's me." The man smiled, his presence oddly casual for someone about to dive into a dungeon. Good, it must be fate. Let's get introductions out of the way." He quickly ran through his team lineup, 8 hunters, all regulars, plus one other random hire, just like Jinwoo. Thanks to his enhanced perception stat, Jinwoo subtly sized them up. 5 of them were solid, around C to D rank, but the rest? Yeah, fluff. Dead weight. Regulations said that to clear a C rank gate, at least 10 hunters were needed, and more than half had to be C rank or above, which meant this group, barely legal. Another young hunter, probably the other, Fluff, smiled brightly at Jinwoo. "Looks like we're the spare parts, huh?" Jin-Ho, the name was. Way too cheerful for someone marching into mortal peril. Before stepping into the gate, they handed over a contract. Simple stuff. No loot share. 2,000,000 won upon completion. Oh, and if anything happened inside, tough luck. No insurance, no compensation. Just the usual freelance hunter deal. Jinwoo signed it without blinking. He wasn't planning to rely on anyone anyway. "What do you need me to do inside?" he asked. "Just carry the luggage," the leader, Hwang Dong-soo, said, pointing at a backpack the size of a small refrigerator. "Inside, lunchboxes, spare gear, first aid kits. Wait, we're not bringing a healer?" Jinwoo asked casually. "Not easy to hire one when you're running an independent assault team," Hwang said, laughing a little too easily. "Don't worry, we've managed fine without one so far." Red flag. As they geared up, Jinwoo kept his expression neutral, but inside he was shaking his head. No healer. Bare minimum numbers. Fluff hires. This wasn't a raid party. This was a high-stakes gamble. Still, Jinwoo hoisted the massive backpack onto his shoulders without complaint. He had no intention of dying here. The dungeon swallowed them whole. It was pitch black inside. No light stones, no glow. Just endless shadows. And silence. Way too much silence. "Pay Jinho. I need a light," Hwang Dong-soo barked. Jinho, the magic-type hunter, quickly conjured a floating orb of light. The surroundings lit up and revealed absolutely nothing. No monsters, no movement, not even the faint flicker of a bug in the distance. "Where are all the monsters?" someone whispered nervously. Jinwoo's sharp ears twitched. Far away, the sound of tiny footsteps. Lots of them. "It's not that they aren't here," Jinwoo said calmly. "They're coming." Before anyone could react, the rumble grew louder. Hwang's eyes widened in horror. "Oh, crap! It's bugs! They're bugs!" he shouted, raising his shield. "Positions! Get ready!" From the ceiling, yes, the ceiling, monstrous insects rained down like nightmares on Fast Forward. Huge beetles, armored centipedes, and things with way too many legs for anyone's comfort swarmed toward the hunters. Hwang rallied like a proper tanker, using his provocation skill to pull the monster's attention. The bugs smashed into his shield, but it held. The rest of the hunters unleashed a counterattack. Magic flared, blades slashed, arrows flew. Jin-Woo, bound by contract, hung back, grinding his teeth in frustration. He could see every opening the bugs left, every mistake his team made, every opportunity he wasn't allowed to exploit. Still, despite the chaos, the hunters fought well. Way better than the random freelancers he'd seen before. Good teamwork, good timing, maybe not complete amateurs after all. Even Jin-Ho, the cheerful fluff kid, surprised him. When a beetle lunged, Jin-Ho deflected it with his shield and hacked it cleanly in half. Guess he's not just talk, Jinwoo thought, impressed despite himself. The battle ended without casualties. Panting, grinning, the team immediately got to work harvesting magic crystals from the dead bugs. "Split 'em 9 ways, boys," Huang called out, still grinning. Huang approached Jin-Woo, clapping him lightly on the shoulder. "We owe you, man. You spotted those ceiling crawlers before they dropped. Good instincts." Jin-Woo just smiled awkwardly and muttered, "Gut feeling." No way he was about to explain his perception. Stat was cracked out of its mind. Still, Huang wasn't wrong. Without that early warning, they might have been spider chow already. As they wrapped up gathering magic crystals, one of the hunters suddenly waved Huang Dong-Su over. "Something's weird about these bugs," he said, frowning. The hunters parted to let Huang squat next to one of the insect corpses. At first glance, it looked normal, until he spotted it, a huge, ragged bite mark. Definitely not from them. Huang's face darkened. "This one's got a chunk missing, and so does that one, and that one over there." It hit them all at once. The bugs had already been in a battle with something else. That explained why the fight had been easier than it should have been. They were cleaning up leftovers. Jinwoo casually glanced at the rest of the team. Several hunters had flicked their eyes toward him, but looked away quickly when he caught them. So, Jinwoo thought, they're starting to suspect me too. If these guys had really been raiding for a long time without healers, with no deaths, yeah, something wasn't adding up. Meanwhile, Jin-Ho practically bounced over to him, beaming like a puppy who just fetched a stick. "You saw me, right? I was awesome, right?" Jinwoo smirked. "You were decent." He pointed at Jin-Ho's gleaming sword and shield. "Those fancy toys, you buy those yourself?" Nah. My dad did," Jin-Ho said proudly. "First raid and all." Jinwoo patted him lightly on the shoulder. "That you might want to be extra careful who you trust." Jin-Ho blinked in confusion, but before he could say anything else, the group started moving deeper into the dungeon. The deeper they went, the weirder it got. Still no monsters, no movement, just endless darkness and the occasional glint of bug carcasses. "Could those bugs have been everything?" someone muttered. "No way. There should be a boss at the end." Sure enough, after what felt like forever, Huang abruptly stopped. Everyone behind him piled up like shopping carts in a bad Walmart commercial. "What the hell, man?" But no one was joking for long. Floating in the light, mountains of bug limbs, splattered guts, a battlefield of shredded insects, and at the center, beyond the carnage, a massive chamber, the boss room. "Get ready," Huang ordered, pulling his shield tight to his arm. Everyone drew their weapons, faces pale but determined. As they crept in, for a few seconds, it was dead silent. Then someone gasped. "Jackpot!" The hunters stared, wide-eyed and slack-jawed. Embedded in the walls of the chamber were glowing, sparkling stones, monolith stones, rare, valuable, stupidly profitable. "Holy crap, it's a motherlode," someone whispered. Even split 9 ways, each hunter could walk away with over 100 million won. Laughter and greedy smiles bloomed instantly. Jin-Ho elbowed Jinwoo in the ribs, grinning like he won the lottery. "Hey, show me your contract real quick." "Huh? Why?" "Trust me, I'm good with this legal stuff." Jinwoo handed it over. Jin-Ho skimmed it, then shouted triumphantly, "There's no clause about treasures, just monster loot." Everyone froze. meaning the monolith stones had to be split 10 ways, not 9. The team exchanged glances. Their grins faltered for just a second, but Hwang Dong-soo laughed easily. Of course, we'll split everything fairly. Yeah, sure, only. Before they could celebrate, a new horror crawled into view. At the far end of the cavern, a spider the size of a small house. Its grotesque body was half buried under piles of bug carcasses, splatters of bodily fluids, rotting legs, a buffet of horrors, and it was just sitting there, still, silent. Sleeping? Jin-Ho gagged into his hand. You, that's the boss? Looks like it ate all the bugs, someone muttered, shuddering. The hunters huddled near Hwang Dong-soo. All right, here's the plan, he said. We'll mine the monolith stones first. The spider's still sleeping, no rush. Do we have mining gear? Someone asked. Li Gu-hwan, the supposed pack mule, scratched his head. Left it in the van. Cue face palms all around. Really? Sorry, my bad. Fine. You lot stay here, we'll run back and grab it. Hwang waved casually as the team started moving toward the exit. Jin-Ho frowned. Wait, you're leaving us alone here? Hwang chuckled. Relax, we'll be quick, the boss isn't even moving. But Jin-Woo? Yeah, he wasn't buying any of it. As the team filed out, he watched Hwang whisper something to the magic user, Jo Kyung-hwan. Then a flash of light. Boom! An explosion. The entrance collapsed in a roar of dust and falling stone. Jin-Ho ran to the pile of rubble, pounding on it with his fists. Hey, let us out! Nothing budged. Jinwoo calmly walked over, hands in his pockets. Looks like they're leaving us for dead. Jin-Ho spun around, panicked. They sealed us in? Why? Before Jinwoo could answer, a chilling sound echoed from behind them. Shh! The spider was waking up, slowly, deliberately. Dozens of glowing red eyes blinked open in the darkness, and it was hungry. The spider's massive body twitched. Its countless red eyes gleamed. A monstrous, wet, rattling breath escaped its mouth. Jin-Ho was practically vibrating in terror. What are you doing? He cried, grabbing Jin-Woo's sleeve as Jin-Woo calmly unsheathed a gleaming dagger. What does it look like? Jin-Woo said, eyes locked on the beast. I'm going to hunt it. Jin-Ho's mouth flapped open like a fish. Are you insane? Jin-Woo just scratched his head, looking honestly confused. What, you want to hunt it instead? That shut Jin-Ho up real fast. The spider reared back, spitting a nasty glob of acid. Jin-Woo dodged nimbly, the acid sizzling and burning a hole into the rocky floor behind him. Without missing a beat, Jin-Woo closed the distance. The spider's front legs slammed down, one after another, the sheer force cracking the ground. Jin-Woo ducked and weaved through the deadly barrage, never losing his rhythm. His mind stayed razor sharp. Attack the weak points, he thought. The eyes. He darted forward, dagger flashing, but something felt off. The spider's jaw twitched strangely. A split-second instinct screamed at him. Danger! Jin-Woo aborted his attack, leaping backward. The next instant, splash! A torrent of caustic digestive fluid exploded from the spider's mouth, drenching the ground where he had just stood. The stone hissed and sizzled, melting away like wax. Jin-Woo's throat went dry. If I had been a second slower... He shook it off. Focus. The spider lunged again, claws flashing. Jin-Woo ducked and rolled, weaving through the onslaught, but he knew he couldn't keep this up forever. His stamina was ticking down. Once he hit 70 fatigue, he'd slow. At 90, he'd barely be able to move. Time was running out. Speed. I need more speed. As if answering his thoughts, a system message flared to life. Passive skill. Sprint. Activated. Jin-Woo's body blurred, movements accelerating dramatically. Now he was a streak of shadow, dancing between the spider's legs. He twisted, feinted, and finally, closed the distance to its head. The spider tried one last desperate spew of acid, but Jinwoo dodged cleanly, planted his foot, and drove his dagger into the cluster of eyes. Stab! The spider screeched, reeling backward, ichor pouring from its ruined vision. Jinwoo didn't stop. He climbed the thrashing beast like a mountaineer scaling a doomed mountain. Daggers flashing again and again into its skull. The spider howled and thrashed, smashing the cavern walls in its death throes. But Jinwoo held on, relentless. Finally, thud! The spider's massive body collapsed, dust and debris billowing outward. A series of system messages flickered before Jinwoo's eyes. Level up, level up, level up. 3 levels gained. Just like that, he stood atop the corpse, breathing hard, covered in blood and acid, but grinning fiercely. Finally, I did it. Jinwoo climbed down from the spider's corpse, panting lightly. A small glint caught his eye, lodged inside the spider's head, buried deep under the thick carapace, a magic crystal. Unlike in instant dungeons, there was no system auto-collection here. He'd have to manually yank it out. No big deal. He pried the crystal loose just as Jin-Ho stumbled up, wide-eyed and jittery. I'll hold on to it for you, Jin-Ho said eagerly, holding out a pouch. Jinwoo handed it over without a fuss, and to Jinwoo's confusion, Jin-Ho even whipped out a thermos and poured him a drink. Here, it's water. You must be thirsty. Jinwoo blinked at the weirdness but accepted it anyway. The cold water ran down his throat, sharp and refreshing. Jin-Ho clapped both hands together, looking serious now. Don't worry, I won't tell anyone what happened here. I'll take this secret to the grave. Jinwoo almost choked on the water. No need to go that far, he said. Pretty sure nobody would believe you anyway. Before Jinwoo could laugh it off, there was another boom. The rubble sealing the room exploded outward. Hwang Dong-soo and his cronies charged in, weapons ready. But what they saw froze them in place. The spider, the monster they planned to feed Jinwoo and Jin-Ho to, was already dead. And standing in front of it, covered in blood, breathing calmly. Seong Jinwoo. What the? They actually killed it? Someone muttered in disbelief. Hwang Dong-soo's face darkened. Their perfect plan had just been obliterated. He quickly adjusted, his mind spinning. No mining, no loot, no quick payday. They needed a plan B fast. His slimy gaze shifted toward Jin-Ho. Hey, Eugene's kid, Hwang called out. We did a little digging. Turns out you're the son of Yu Myung-han, CEO of Eugene Construction. Jin-Ho froze. See, that makes you very valuable. Hwang smiled. A cold, ugly thing. We'll make you a deal. Help us kill Seong Jinwoo, and you walk out of here alive. The other hunters tightened their grips on their weapons, ready to pounce. Jin-Ho stared at them, horrified. Kill Jinwoo? The guy who just saved his life? The guy who made taking down a house-sized spider look easy? He hesitated, swallowed nervously. Hwang's grin widened. Come on, kid. It's either him or you. Jin-Ho's hand shook as he reached for his sword. Jin-Ho's grip tightened around his sword. He drew it, stepping forward slowly, and then turned to stand beside Jinwoo. Sorry, but I'm not that kind of guy, Jin-Ho said, forcing a shaky grin. For a split second, Hwang Dong-soo's face twisted with irritation. Then he laughed. You really think the two of you can take all of us? Without waiting for an answer, he barked an order. Take down Seong Jinwoo first. Magic flared in Jo Kyung-hwan's hands, a blinding bolt of light firing directly at Jinwoo. Boom! The blast hit like a bomb. Jinwoo was hurled across the cavern, smashing into the wall hard enough to make the ceiling tremble. Dust and rubble rained down. Jin-Ho froze, staring in horror. You can stop worrying about your friend now, Hwang sneered. He's dead. They started closing in on Jin-Ho like sharks circling prey, but from under the pile of rubble, movement, a soft shuffle, then a hand. a bloody dirt-caked hand emerging from the debris. Jin-Woo stood up, slowly, deliberately, eyes cold, face blank. Alive. A chilling system message flashed in his vision. Emergency quest, deal with enemies. Kill them all or suffer a penalty. Death? Enemies remaining, 8. Jinwoo stared at the hunters, the blue light of the quest burning in his eyes. Kill or be killed, huh? He murmured, and this time, he didn't hesitate. One of the hunters saunters over to Jinwoo, asking the group to let him handle this pathetic little E-rank. He throws an arm around Jinwoo's neck. You know, like that jerk of a bully in a homeroom class somewhere about to snatch their favorite lick's lunch money, thinking he could humiliate him before unaliving our favorite hunter in cold blood. Bad move. In a blur, Jinwoo had his dagger in his hand, and before anyone could react, slash! The man's head hit the floor with a wet thud. Silence. For half a heartbeat, no one moved. No one breathed. Then chaos exploded. Kill him! Kill him now! Hwang Dong-soo roared. They charged all at once, swords, spears, magic flying everywhere. But Jinwoo? He was gone. A ghost? A shadow. His agility stat, boosted beyond human limits, turned him into a blur between them. Blades missed by inches. Spells scorched only air. Jinwoo struck with ruthless precision. Slash. Paralysis inflicted. Stab. Bleeding inflicted. Cut. Poison inflicted. Screams filled the dungeon as hunters dropped left and right, writhing in agony. I can't move. He's too fast. What kind of monster is this? Jinwoo weaved between them, cold and efficient, carving through them like a hot knife through butter. He wasn't just fighting, he was hunting. In seconds, 5 hunters lay dead or dying. Only one man stood between Jinwoo and complete victory. Hwang Dong-soo. Breathing hard, face twisted with rage, Hwang tossed aside his shield and charged barehanded. You think some E-rank trash like you can beat me? He barreled forward like a raging bull. Jinwoo didn't flinch. The moment Hwang threw his shoulder forward for a full-body tackle, Jinwoo sidestepped, pivoted, and slammed him into the ground like a meteor. Crack! Hwang's body bounced once, then sprawled limply across the cavern floor. Coughing up blood, Hwang tried to crawl away. Pathetic! Please, wait, I'll pay you. I'll give you anything you want. Spare me. Jinwoo stared down at him, voice cold as ice. You tried to kill me 3 times. Once when you blocked the gate. Again when you ordered Jin-Ho to kill me. And again when you blasted me with magic. He stepped forward. No mercy. Hwang Dong-soo didn't even get to scream. The dust settled. Jinwoo stood alone amid the carnage, blood dripping from his blade. 8 enemies defeated, 8 lives ended. For a moment, he just stared at his own hands. They were trembling, not from fear, not from guilt, from the weight of it all. I really killed them, he thought. It hadn't been a desperate, panicked brawl. It had been clinical, calculated, effortless. Then, ding, a familiar system message chimed. Emergency quest complete, all enemies eliminated. Rewards incoming. Jinwoo opened his status window. Rewards. Full recovery of current physical condition. Plus 10 stat points. New skill unlocked, Bloodlust. He felt the changes immediately. His wounds healed. His body felt lighter, sharper, and the new skill, Bloodlust. He could feel its dark power thrumming just under his skin. The ability to inflict fear with sheer presence. Useful, he thought grimly. He glanced around the battlefield one last time. No pity, no regret. These men had chosen their fate. He simply delivered it. 3 days later, Jinwoo finally had a day off. He came home early, only to be immediately ambushed by his little sister, Jin-Ah. Did you order fried chicken? She squealed, tossing off her shoes. Yeah, Jinwoo said casually, leaning back at the dining table. Figured we could celebrate. Jin-Ah's eyes lit up. Something good happen? Maybe? He shrugged, but inside he was practically glowing. After selling the spider's magic crystals, his bank balance had exploded from 800,000 won to over 180 million. Nearly $160,000. One raid. Life-changing money. In a world where hunter was basically another word for rich and famous, Jinwoo was finally starting to feel like he belonged. As they sat down to eat, Jinna sneakily reached for a beer can. Smack! Jinwoo flicked her forehead hard enough to make her yelp. "Cola for you, kid." He slid a can across the table. "I was just joking," she grumbled, rubbing her forehead as she popped open her soda. Jinwoo chuckled, cracking open a can of beer for himself, but as he took a swig, ding, detoxifying harmful substances, he blinked. Wait, what? He chugged the rest of the can, just to make sure. Ding, detoxifying harmful substances. No buzz, no dizziness, no buzz giggles, nothing. Jinwoo stared at the empty can like it had personally betrayed him. He couldn't get drunk anymore. Thanks to the system's buffs, alcohol now counted as a harmful substance and was automatically neutralized. Man, Jin-Woo sighed. Superpowers, great for fighting monsters, not so great for cracking open a cold one. Talk about a letdown. But just as this new development shifted through his mind, Jin-Woo remembered something major. And with that, we'll leave you hanging right here. Thanks for sticking around till the very end, Warriors. Big shout out to all our Carmic.Con supporters. You're the real MVPs, fueling these dungeon dives. If you had fun listening to and watching Jinwoo solo a spider the size of a U-Haul, smash that subscribe button, drop a like, and let's hit 300 likes so we can keep leveling up this series. Comment below your favorite moment, and let's keep this hunter journey rolling. Until next time, stay strong, stay sneaky, and always aim for the boss's eyes first.